The Justice Crusader, Master Raskta's ship, was easily the fastest vessel Johun had ever been on. A small personal attack cruiser, she required a crew of 4. Fortunately for Johun, there were 4 others with him on board, all of them clothed in the simple brown robes that marked them as members of the Jedi Order. Master Raskta Lisu, an Ichani, sat at the controls of her ship. She had the alabaster skin, pure white hair, and silver eyes common to all her species. She was almost as tall as Johun, with the muscles and physique one would expect in a species that valued physical combat as the highest form of art and personal expression. Named in honor of the legendary Ichani warrior Raskta Feni, acclaimed by many to be the greatest duelist of her time, Master Raskta had spent her life honing her martial skills so that she could one day equal and even surpass her namesake. She had achieved the rare and prestigious rank of Jedi Weapons Master, eschewing all other fields of study and forsaking the development of her other Force talents to focus exclusively on the lightsaber and combat. She had transformed herself into a living weapon. Now tasked with training apprentices in the forms of lightsaber combat, Raskta had been part of the campaign on Ruusan. Wielding a blue-bladed lightsaber in each hand and shunning any form of armor, she was a terrifying figure to behold on the battlefield. Johun vividly remembered her carving great swaths of destruction through the heart of the enemy ranks, leaving a litter of bodies in her wake. It was said that by the end of the war, as many Sith Lords had fallen under her twin blades as had been killed by the thought bomb. In the gunner's chair across from the pilot was Sarro Zaj, the human male who had served as Raskta's Padawan on Ruusan. A year older than Johun, Sarro had olive-brown skin and a single topknot of black hair. He was also the largest human Johun had ever encountered. Over 2 meters tall and 150 kilos of raw muscle, he could easily be mistaken for a hairless Wookiee rather than a man. Yet despite his mass, he was still quick enough to snatch a zest fly out of the air. Elevated to the rank of Jedi Knight 7 years before, Sarro had chosen to follow in his master's path, focusing on mastering a massive double-bladed lightsaber measuring almost 3 meters in length. Johun imagined there were few beings in the galaxy who could stand up under the ferocious assault of his weapon's blue blades. Handling the navigation in the back of the vessel was Master Worror, an Ithorian. His long, flat neck curved forward and up to a head shaped like the letter T, with his large bulbous eyes on either end of the crosstroke. His odd appearance had led to his species being commonly called hammerheads by the ignorant and insensitive. Master Worror's surname could only be pronounced by beings possessing the 2 mouths and 4 throats unique to Ithorian anatomy. Johun had heard tales of Ithorian Jedi channeling the Force to transform their multiple voices into a devastating sonic weapon. Master Worror, however, was a healer by training, and his power lay in that direction. He had been one of General Hoth's advisors on Ruusan, and a key to victory in many battles, even though he didn't even carry a lightsaber. The Ithorian's role was not to engage the enemy, but rather to provide support through both his healing abilities and the rare art of battle meditation. Although his talent was not strong enough to single-handedly alter the outcome of a large-scale conflict, in close quarters, Worror could draw upon the Force to give strength to the bodies, minds, and spirits of those around him, enhancing the skills and abilities of his allies. Located beside the navigator in the rear of the vessel, the 4th member of the crew, Master Farfalla, provided support for the pilot, gunner, and navigator. He called up astronav charts, engine readings, weapon status, scanner reports, and anything else the others needed to do their jobs. Johun was seated up front in the cockpit with Raskta and Sarro, occupying the passenger's chair behind the pilot. Until they reached Tython, his only job was to stay out of everyone else's way. Using the long-abandoned hyperspace route indicated on the data card they discovered in the archives, the Justice Crusader had penetrated the deep core. Master Raskta had expressed her concern at the start of the voyage. According to current records, the hyperspace lanes they were traversing had been known to momentarily collapse without warning. A ship traveling anywhere along the hyperspace corridor during the nanosecond before it reformed would be lost forever. Combined with the other dangers of the deep core, including wandering black holes that would rip a vessel apart, even in hyperspace, The instability of the route had led to it falling into disuse and finally being forgotten for well over 1,000 years. Worror had calculated the risk of a hyperspace collapse during their journey at just over 2%, more than high enough to make Johun breathe a sigh of relief when they emerged unscathed a few thousand kilometers away from the destination.
"Weapons primed and ready,"
Sarro's voice told everyone over the intercom.
"Any friends we have to worry about?"
"Nothing in orbit," Farfalla reported. "Looks like we're clean." "I'm taking us in," Raskta told them. "See if you can find anything." "Picking up an ion trail," Farfalla said as they neared the planet's atmosphere. "Looks like we're right behind them."
"Locking on to the ion trail. Locked on."
Even over the crackle of an intercom, Worror's deep voice resonated through the ship. "Engaging autopilot," Raskta said. "Let's see where this takes us. Sarro, keep your trigger finger ready." The autopilot dropped them down into Tython's atmosphere, and for several seconds the only thing Johun could see through the cockpit viewport was a wall of gray cloud. When they broke free, their destination was immediately obvious.
"I think I know where we're headed,"
Sarro mumbled. Below them was a flat, empty field, virtually devoid of life. A dark fortress was visible on the horizon, the only significant structure in sight. Picking up 2 small vessels on the ground, Farfalla told them as they drew nearer. "Nobody outside, though." They were close enough now that Johun could make out 2 melted towers rising up on either side of the stronghold's front face. "Reading life forms inside the building," Farfalla noted. "Looks like 3.
"Only 3?
Sarro mumbled, sounding disappointed.
"This might be too easy."
"Don't count on that," Farfalla warned him as Raskta brought the Justice Crusader in for a landing.